Hi, my name is Narmeen. I'm an artist, a community builder, and a creative project manager. I had an art social enterprise a few years ago, and through that social enterprise, I was connecting, change makers like social entrepreneurs with artists. And with every event that I was doing to raise exposure for that platform, I would have more and more creatives reach out to me, whether they were filmmakers or photographers or designers or illustrators who wanted to be part of that project because it had a bit of purpose for, it was connecting creatives with a social purpose, right? And so they would be like, oh, I know you work with artists, but do you also, do you have any, projects for us? We do this, we're graphic designers, or we're this. So I started seeing that it wasn't just the visual arts community that needed a community, and it was already pretty strong by then, the visual arts community. And I was seeing all these other creatives reach out to me. And then with every year, I would say filmmakers, I would be introduced to a new filmmaker, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I met this other guy and this other guy. Nobody knew each other. None of the filmmakers I met knew each other. None of the photographers I met knew each other. None of the graphic designers I met knew each other. So then that became a goal of mine, where I'm like, you know what? It doesn't make sense that you guys work in isolation and you don't have resources. Every time you're starting from scratch when there's no community, right? So having that community, it's building your resource base, right? You're being able to help each other. And if you don't see it as a community, if you don't think you're part of a community, you're always in competition with each other. I remember through my first few events, I brought in photographers, poets, writers, visual artists, storytellers, musicians together in one room. And it was their first time actually realizing that the others exist. The filmmaker community didn't know that there was such a huge poetry community here. The poetry community didn't know there was such a huge, theater group over here. It was the first time they realized, oh wow, there are all these creative communities and individuals here. And then you start seeing collaborations between these different creative groups. And I remember out of my first event, there was at least 18 new collaborations that I know of that came out of people just meeting each other. It's not always competition. Like even now, we're so many curators in Dubai, and we always help each other out whenever there's a need for new artists, or, we need to put out an open call for a commission. That's how it should be. That's why a community should exist. So you help each other out, you support each other, and in the end, there's always enough to go around. People don't realize that, but there always is, no matter how bad the economy is. The more you support each other and create bigger projects appear. First few years was definitely a struggle. People would keep asking me why I keep doing that, why I keep having these free events. And initially I would ask myself why too. But honestly, every year I've seen the more I'm giving to the community, the more I'm building the community, and the more I'm getting back, and the more the community is getting back. So definitely there is value in building a creative community. You're a creative, you work a full-time job, you're getting enough from that full-time job that when everything you do on the side, you're like, I don't have to make much money from it. Oh, I can give it away for free. That was me for a while. I was selling, but it was just at cost. Because I was like, I'm already earning, why do I need to make money from my craft, right? So a lot of creatives start from there. And then a lot of, especially over here where nobody throws themselves really into a creative career until years later. So, initially you're doing things for exposure, you're doing things for free because you already have a full-time job. That is very, very dangerous because people take you for granted. So I was having all these art activations and building community events that I was doing for my own platform, without making anything out of it, with putting a lot of time into it. And then because I wasn't charging for it, people would be like, oh, do that for me, or do that for my venue, or you do that anyway, so you might as well do that for me. And it is dangerous because people take you for granted, and people think, oh, you love doing it anyway, I'm doing you a favor because you love doing it. So you should give, but also be mindful of who you should give to, and to not be taken for granted. The whole doing things for exposure, I really don't know how much it's helped people. If you have bills to pay, then don't do things for exposure. Because once you start doing that, people won't take you seriously. It's very easy to get discouraged by the process, right? Because it doesn't follow the same method as other careers. You know, in other careers you learn something, and then you practice it and you make money out of it. With any creative industry, it doesn't work like that. You'll have peak months of insane, growth as an artist and validation, and then you'll have like 9 months of the year with like no return. It's so easy to get discouraged. But honestly, join communities, go to meetup groups, go find your tribe. There are always creative communities in every city, or if you don't find one, start one. Start having monthly or weekly meetups where you all start creating together and talk about the process. It makes such a huge difference. If local talent don't see an opportunity for them to continue being creative and to continue building their craft, then it kind of discourages them from being creative in the process. And then that you lose creativity in a city and you lose talent in the city. So for me, it's really building enough opportunities for creatives to continue being creative so we don't continue to lose talent. I really want to, my city to be seen as a creative city, and the only way to do that is to continue building opportunities. I'm Narmeen, and bringing creative people together is what I do best.